Season's greetings to you guys.
Howdy. Oh, look at that fire.
Yeah, it's cozy here now, yeah. I've even got my Christmas jumper on. How you like that, you know?
Beautiful.
It feels great. It's like I've missed this.
I miss Spooktober. I want it all year.
I know, but like I could only do horror movie reviews for so long before I had to move on to something else. So it's good. I need to get some Christmas movies reviewed,
Yeah.
especially on my second channel. I'll do a few of them. Just rewatched Home Alone for probably the 50th time the other day, and each time I see it, I'm just more and more convinced it's essentially a perfect movie, and I just think it's really fantastic. It makes me feel good every time I get to the end of it.
Every time I watch it, I'm always shocked at how little of the movie is the part everybody adores.
Yeah, like the siege.
Yeah, I always remember it being more of the film, but I'm always like, no, it's pretty quick. It's just incredibly funny and
Yeah.
memorable.
Oh, it's fantastic, and yeah, like the setup. I think they couldn't have cast a better actor than Macaulay Culkin. He's just perfect in that film.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just great. It's got absolutely feel good movie. Even the bit with the old man in the church, you know, and he's got to try and repair his relationship with his son. I just
Yeah.
yeah, I love it. And we need more films like that that just make us feel good. And it's like a little reminder, you know, the world isn't a horrible nightmare of a place all the time. It's actually got good people in it.
There's some
And
nice bits here and there.
there are indeed, yeah. But hey, speaking of nice bits, we've got lovely super chats from the other night we should do.
Yes.
How's that sound? Should we get fired into them?
Beautiful.
All right. So, from the other night, the first one that we've got is Indie G, who says, I got Dark Harvest for my wife, and I have never seen her so invested in a story, from audibly gasping when characters died off and flying through pages to find out what happens next. Love every minute of it. Perfect. Thank you very much, man. And I'm glad you enjoyed it. And Urin Price says, Hail Drinker, greetings from Wales. What are your thoughts on The Lone Ranger? In my opinion, tonally all over the place and a low energy performance from Depp. It was a bit of strange casting, really, casting Johnny Depp as Kimas. No, it's not Kimasabi, is it? What's
Tonto?
his name? Tonto. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have cast him for that, but kind of all right. Like, I think it really when you get the kind of train scene at the end and you get the music coming in and stuff, it gets into sort of high gear then. But it felt like a bit of a missed opportunity, that film. And I think it was kind of Army Hammer's big shot at becoming like an A-lister, and yeah, it flopped pretty hard, didn't it? So that was him kind of done, I guess. That was his chance, as far as I know. And then he got exposed as a bit of a weirdo who eats people. So
I bet. I'll never get over that. I can't believe it.
it was kind of downhill from there, really, wasn't it?
There's no coming back from being a cannibal. That's what they say.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Hollywood's got some weird people in it, but that could be the peak, I would say.
Yeah, even all the weirdos in Hollywood are like, "That's weird, dude."
Yeah. Sean Kennedy says, Drinker, please watch the Cocaine Bear trailer. I have seen it, and it looks fantastic. I want to see that movie and review it, and hopefully give it a Drinker recommends, because, I mean, what more do you need? Cocaine, bears, perfect film right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see a Predator movie where it gets, like, it's submerged in cocaine, and it comes up, like, properly fired up and just ready to kill everything in its path.
That could be fun, yeah.
I think, yeah, Predator's big day out, you know. Yeah, that's going to be the way forward. Cocaine Predator. The one Lucas is, Hey Drinker and Panel, Mauler, will you and Southpaw get over your differences? Really enjoyed him on EFAP.
Well, as far as I know, we're fine, but there's no plans for making anything.
Cool. Derek says, how woke will Amazon's Mass Effect be, and what are the chances of them casting a male shepherd? Personally, I always found the idea of a female shepherd far-fetched, as there's so much driving in the games. Ooh, you went there. Yeah, because you could be male or female, can't you, in Mass Effect?
I still have yet to play it, and I get told I'm a bad man for that.
Yeah, well, join the club. I'm in the same position. But I don't know, man. Like, when it comes to, I guess, adaptations of pretty much anything at this point, I'm pretty wary of them. You know, we saw what they did with The Witcher. It's garbage. The Last of Us. I don't have much hope for that, even though the trailer looked kind of good. But when I see Pedro Pascal, I'm just like, nah, I got a bad feeling. I don't know about you.
Um, like, are you saying that him alone is enough to put you off, sort of thing?
Kind of, yeah. I don't know why. He's just got this vibe about him. Like, I feel like he's just gonna bring identity politics into it somehow. Like, 'cause I know he does quite a bit of that in his like social media and stuff, like in real life. Um,
Because I
yeah,
thought he
and
was like
I
the
think.
best part of Wonder Woman 84.
Uh, I mean, it's,
I know.
his character was garbage. Like, I think
How
him
could you
as an
insult
actor.
that movie of all movies?
I know, yeah. I think like yeah, just when we see I guess what they do with pretty much adaptations of anything over the past few years. Like I mean, look even at Willow the other night when we were talking about that. Same deal. You know, they took classic from the 1980s. Yeah, not an amazing film by any stretch, but they've just turned it into this box ticking exercise for diversity casting. And basically every minority or every orientation or basically everything that you can think of is condensed into the first 30 minutes of that first episode, and it's not even like done subtly or sensitively. It's just shoved right in your face.
You're not going to make me watch any of that Willow show, right?
I might. I mean, it depends how
No.
well the stream goes tonight. I mean, I plan to get through as many episodes as I can before my liver gives out, and then try and do a review on it. So
Uh-huh.
it might be a review of like the first 2 or 3 episodes, or it might be the whole season. We'll just see how it goes. But I would like to give my thoughts on it because, man, it provoked a reaction, shall we say. It's not like I was bored watching it, but it wasn't a good reaction.
Well then.
What was the next one? Slack Attack. He says, before Jennifer Lawrence, there were no women. How did we ever survive? Do not know, but thank God for Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, we
She
did
uh,
it. She
she
saved us.
invented. I think my favorite comment was like Jennifer Lawrence invented open bar.
She did. She came up with the idea.
Thank you,
Have you
Jen. Appreciate
I've
it.
seen like she's followed up by saying like, yeah, it wasn't the best way to put my point, but I was more so starstruck by being in the room with I forget who
Viola
even.
Davis.
Yeah, yeah. She said she was like that's why she said the stupid thing because she wasn't thinking straight or something. That's her excuse.
Yeah. I mean that it's not like this was a live stream or something that she was doing. Like if she'd said something and then thought,
Well,
no,
Viola
that's a bit
Davis
dumb.
agreed with her point,
Yeah.
so I guess she had a brain fart too. I guess you're both insane. I don't know.
Well, was she starstruck for Jennifer Lawrence, and so they were just mutually terrified of each other, and they're like, "Oh, we just have to agree with everything that each other says."
They were both starstruck at each other themselves. They were like, "Oh my god, I am Jennifer Lawrence." Wow.
It's like every time she looks in the mirror, just like, "Wow." I guess that's it. You made this point the other day. Like, you must realize, Jen, like everyone's gonna think you're an idiot who's never seen a movie before. Like, having said this, and you just think, didn't anyone in that studio, like the camera guys, like her publicist, maybe say to her, like, "Yeah, what you've just said there is probably not going to be well received. Maybe we could do this again. Just let's try a different way of putting this, shall we?" Because they must have people, don't they? Like they must have people there that handle this stuff, that advise them, make sure they don't say anything too stupid.
You'd think like maybe that one slips out because it's just like, who's gonna care? And then it's like, oh shit, everyone cares.
Yeah. So, well, it was a shame, but like, thank you, Jen, for inventing open bar. I appreciate it. Douglas Burton says Ripley and Aliens came out in the year 26 BJL. What? Before Jennifer Lawrence. Right, I got you. That's good. Nathan Cassidy says, I could see Avatar 2 making a billion, the same reason Top Gun Maverick did. It's not a superhero film or a Disney film. It is a Disney film, isn't it?
I don't know.
Pretty sure it is. But yeah, I get your point. It has everything to gain, provided it's a good movie people want to rewatch. I mean, yeah, I mean you could apply that statement to any film, really. Like it could do well if it's good. Yeah, I'd say that's true. Um, but I think with Avatar, like, yeah, it'll make 1 billion. Fairly confident it'll do that, but it's not going to get to anything like the original, I don't think. I'm waiting to be proved wrong. Maybe it'll be some incredible piece of cinema that we're going to fawn over for decades. Who knows? But it doesn't seem like it, especially after Chris Gore was talking to us the other night. I feel like he was trying really hard to like it. It's like he was trying to come up with reasons that it was good. But
We've all been there
uh,
sometimes, you know.
yeah. Leon K says you should start using Damon Targaryen saying "What the fuck is this?" as a clip in your videos. That would be a good one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be good. I really want to use Henry Cavill from The Witcher just going fuck because it's so heartfelt and it's just so perfect the way he delivers it. I love that one. Andrew Reddy says, "G'day all. With all the garbage coming out of Hollywood, what do you all think of Martin McDonagh and his films, especially Seven Psychopaths and his new film, The Banshees of Inisherin, later this year?"
I want to see the new one. Seven Psychopaths and In Bruges, I adore. So, willing to take a chance on anything he makes. Yeah, I like his stuff quite a bit.
Cool. Jedi Brooks says, "Don't forget about Xena. Yes, she was indeed a female character that was strong. I used to love Xena Warrior Princess back in the days. It's weird because it was like mid 90s and Channel 5 had just come out. And Moore, you're young and so you probably won't remember this,
I
but like
remember Channel 5.
you had to get your TV tuned in for it to make sure you could get it. And then everyone's all excited. It's like, holy shit, all we had was 4 channels. Now we got 5. Damn, look out, America, we're coming for you.
Yep.
But yeah, then it came out and it was literally all just, it was things like cheap, low budget action movies from like the 80s and 90s. Softcore porn at nighttime. The late night
Yeah.
Channel 5 movie was fantastic if you were a teenager. And occasional stuff like Xena. And it was just great. It was like slightly low budget and a little bit goofy at times, but there was a lot of heart in it. I thought it was good fun. I think they had a lot of good fun with Xena. And Lucy Lawless has still got it. Casey Boyd says, Drinker and Muller, you guys listed your favorite Tarantino films a bit ago, and I was surprised I didn't hear Jackie Brown. Did you guys like it? I didn't
Less
mention it
of,
because I don't really rewatch that much. Like
I was
it's
less
out
a
of
fan of
his.
Jackie Brown compared to the others.
Yeah,
When I first watched it.
out of all his films, it's like one that I feel less interested in watching again. Not that I think it's shit or anything. It's just it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, same.
Baba Doom says Cynthia Rothrock is a badass and was the lead in many action flicks. She needs to go on open bar or Friday night sites. Who's Cynthia Rothrock? You ever
I
heard
know
of
the
her?
name. I can't remember what she's famous for though. Someone in chat helps out.
Hold on, I'll go. I'll have a look for her. It's a hell of a name, Rothrock. So she was. She's an American martial artist. Okay, so she's been in. Anything that I recognize? Not really. She was in No Retreat, No Surrender Part 2. Okay. Fight to Win. Righting Wrongs. Jungle Heat. City Cops. Nah, can't say her. Yeah, I can't say I really recognize her. But hey, she's a black belt in. This is going to take me ages to list them all. So she's a black belt in Taekwondo, Karate, Eagle Claw, Wushu, Northern Shaolin, and Tai Lum Tao Kung Fu. So there you go. Pretty sure she could kill everyone in this room right now.
Oh.
Okay, well, there we go. Maybe one day we could get her. Next one is John Summers, who says Maureen O'Hara in Pirate Queen. It goes way before the 2000s, 90s, or even the 80s. I'd pay good money for someone to ask her publicly how Baby Weibstein is. Okay. Cody Griffin says Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider 2001. Guess that doesn't exist either.
Nope.
What did you think about her as Lara Croft?
I don't. I haven't seen it in so long now that I feel like it's an irrelevant perspective. But I remember really liking her in the first one.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Second one was a bit shit. Like they
that's all I
didn't have
remember.
any
Yeah, the
ideas.
second one was Cradle of Life. It's called, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
because I'm sure it had. I was going to say Cillian Murphy, but it's not him. Kieran Hines as the baddie, and yeah, he was a
Not as good
bit
as
weak.
Ian Glenn. Okay.
Nothing's as good as Ian Glenn. Funny, a mate of mine ran into him once in Edinburgh, and he said it's like the drunkest I've ever seen a human being in my life, and he hangs out with me, so fucking hell.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I think if you were looking for an actress in that sort of early 2000s periods, I don't think you could do better than Angelina Jolie, like to play Lara Croft. You know, she had like the physique, she had the big pouty lips and everything. She was just, yeah, about as close as you're going to get to a real life human Lara, I suppose.
Yeah.
And she did pretty well, you know. I liked her more than I liked Alicia Vikander in the new Tomb Raider sort of reboot movie. She was just
I'll agree with that.
really
Yeah.
she. It's weird because I feel like she probably took the training more seriously, and she was in like better shape physically. Like she looks like actually pretty athletic, but she just doesn't have the charisma. She doesn't have the presence. You know, I just didn't feel that she was Lara. She was just like generic explorer chick, you know, and it was just yeah, pretty forgettable.
The thing about casting her, like the guy who played Aemond Targaryen, Gary was saying, it's like you gotta cast him as Joker. He's got the chin for it. You gotta do it.
He does have a mighty chin, yeah.
It's just funny because it's like, I mean, maybe one day, yeah, but like current Joker is the newest Joker, I guess, is the one in the Batman, right? And that was played by Barry. Is it Koenig or something like that? I can't remember his name is, but he's gonna be our next
Yeah.
Joker.
Well, it felt like one of those scenes where it's like they could easily swap him out with someone else if they decided to, because you don't get to see much of him. You know, he's kind of in the shadows and stuff, and you just see bits and pieces. So it's like almost like a stand-in or something. It's like, we can
Yeah.
cast someone else for the full movie. Personally, like Jared Leto is my favorite, always has been.
Oh, of course.
I
Top notch.
think
Yeah.
fantastic. Next one is from Nathan Cassidy. He says, what Jennifer Lawrence said is an example of what I call the historical jealousy. Their ego wants to be the first, but their brain knows they aren't. I mean, it could very well be true, yeah. It's such a funny example of just like, I don't know, either willful ignorance or just general, like, narcissism, I suppose. Yes, this character that I played is the first of any kind ever. So I'm so, I'm so special. Gregory Lieber says, is Barbarella a female-led action movie? I don't know if I'd go so far as to call Barbarella an action movie. It's... What would you even describe it as? It's like a spoof sci-fi sex, like softcore porn movie? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not
It's
sure if they came up with a genre for that.
it is a bizarre movie. Like, I do not care to consider how much drugs were consumed in the making of that film, but it was a lot, I'm sure. Herbie Zoid says, "Hey Drinker, check out Max Landis' response to you. It's quite interesting." Okay.
Wait, what?
I don't know. Wait. Let's see if I can find it. When they say response, it might just be like he was doing a stream or something and he mentioned me. Max Landis, critical drinker. Okay. So Max Landis explains how the film industry got this way in response to the critical drinker. And that was 2 months ago. It's like 25 minutes long, so I don't think we've really got time to go through it right now. But hey, there you go. Nice. Next one is Coops Girl says Pearl White starred in the action serial Perils of Pauline in 1914, and it was a huge hit. Modern actors are so ignorant of their history. Damn, that's going back a ways, isn't it? Would it have
Well, yeah,
been?
and it hits harder as well because of the whole, like this whole thing we've been talking about. Is like she's not allowed to get this shit wrong because it undermines her entire like, POV, right? She should be more aware than most of all of the great women.
Was was like you one, you're a woman, and two, you claim to be a feminist, and three, you work in the film industry. So yeah, out of all those things, you should probably have a knowledge of like
Well, it just
yeah.
betrays the hollowness of it all, right? She should have them like listed in her head as some of the biggest inspirations and the legendary women who inspired her to get. But instead, she took it for herself. Like, wow.
Hmm, yeah. And this is like I could sort of understand like okay, you might not know like deep Hollywood history, like going back more than 100 years. Like okay, that's a stretch. But at least like stuff that's happened in your own lifetime, you should be aware of. Like it
Yeah,
shouldn't be that hard, even if you've only got a passing knowledge of films. You know, you've probably heard of Sarah Connor. You've probably heard of Ripley. You've probably like met Mila Jovovich at
yeah.
various things. Like, oh yeah, what do you do? It's like, oh, I'm in this Resident Evil series. You know, you might have heard of it. I don't know. Like, just stuff like that. It's weird. um, what's the next one? Swing Out. Swing Out Museum says you even had black heroines. Pam Grier in Foxy Brown, yes. Chevy Baby, Tamara Dobson in Cleopatra Jones, and Teresa Graves in Get Christy Love, for a few. Yeah, there's been many over the years. The Saint Zor says, hey, hi all, drinker, as you like Triple R, I'd recommend my favourite Rang di Basanti. A nice blend of genres and time periods with a great storyline without the message. Yeah, like I feel having seen RRR now, I need to experience more films like that because they're a trip, man. I don't know if you ever got around to watching it.
No, I still haven't. I need to.
You'll have fun. Yeah, you don't think too much about the physics behind the action scenes, and you'll be grand. But yeah, it's just a fun movie. You know, it really feels like some product of a different time, and
Mm.
I kind of like yeah, I wanted to see more stuff like that. I guess. Itchy Elbows says, enjoy the content. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Alan Paxton says, unobtainium. So, wait, no. He's rephrased it. Unobranium. There you
Oh,
go. We'll combine all of them.
got him.
Joseph L. says, boycott Avatar and help save society as we know it. I don't know if that's going to save society. I think we might need a bit more than that.
Well, yeah, and I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't boycott Avatar, right? Like, we want to encourage. I was about to say original ideas. I know it's a sequel, but I mean, it's more preferable than a lot of the way the franchise things work, and it's like a movie built from the ground up. I'm not expecting it to be good, but I enjoy the method in which it was created.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, well, I was talking earlier as well about, like, is it a Disney movie? Yes, it is, because it was produced under 20th Century Fox, who were bought over by Disney, so it's now under their umbrella. Which does make me angry, because it's like, even if it's
Disney,
really good and you watch it and you support it, it's like, well, inadvertently you're supporting Disney.
they have their
But
fingers in everything.
I know, well, this is when you buy up half the world. I guess like all these films are going to fall under you at some point. But hey, you know what? If it's actually good and it doesn't bombard you with the message, then I guess I'd be all right with supporting it. Like it's almost like sending them the message that this is what people want. Just make more stuff like this, and we'll be happy. Charles Hurst says, hello, gents. If you need a refreshingly decent film, check out the Korean movie The Swordsman. Nothing groundbreaking, it's just a fun action flick. Cheers. Good recommendation, then. That's all I need sometimes, just a fun action flick. Big Rog, give me a thumbs up, so thank you. Dane1792 says, we are we are in a denaissance. Like degenerating, I guess.
Yeah.
I I don't think I'd argue with that either. Bob Starsky says, Chris and panel, would you say that Elvis was a good film this year?
Didn't see
That's,
it.
Yeah, you're out of luck, my friend, because neither Mauler nor I have seen it, so I am sorry about that. But I mean, it looked pretty promising. Like the trailers made it look pretty decent. But beyond that, I don't know. Sadie V says, "Hey, critical drinker, I love your reviews, but I felt you were too critical of Game of Thrones season 8. This should be
Really?
interesting. I thought it was all right with some illogical but acceptable flaws. Does your opinion still stand 3 years later compared to 2022 crap?" Yes, my opinion absolutely stands.
If anything,
Um,
you probably think it's worse. I don't know. Season 8 is ugh.
yeah, and I think it's because the show. Well, I was going to say it had so far to fall, but it was kind of already in free fall by that point. But yeah, man, the season 8 was garbage. There were so many shortcuts taken. There were so many things condensed together. So many things that didn't make sense. Characters just became completely different people. That is just garbage writing, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Miaru87 says, "I only buy movies that I can enjoy repeatedly. What's the most recent physical media that you've bought? Mine is Zootopia back in 2016. Is that sad?" No, I think it's just a sign of the times. I'm probably in the same position.
Well,
I
I
can't
think I
remember the
picked
last time I bought like a movie on physical media.
Um, well, I got one as a Christmas present for somebody. I think it was The King's Man. Um, that counts.
Hmm.
On Blu-ray. I haven't actually
No.
seen it yet, so
Oh, The Kingsman.
no.
It's pretty good. I think it's got a
Hmm.
nice. How can I even describe it? Like, it's got some great characters, some good actors in it. You've got Rafe Fiennes, like he always brings something kind of special to it. Um, a couple of the revelations towards the end are a bit meh. Felt like it was a bit silly, but there's a few moments in it that'll shock you,
Oh,
shock and surprise you. But yeah, overall, I quite liked it as a film. I think it's got some nice ideas to it. It doesn't preach at you, and yeah, it kind of goes down a slightly unexpected path, I suppose. So yeah, overall, I quite liked it. King's Advisor says, "Cheers all. Just want to thank you all for the videos and inspiring us to start our own channels. I would love for you to give us a look. Can't wait to see more." Okay, thank you, man. And that's the King's Advisors. Cody Griffin says, "Gents, why are they making The Witcher Blood Origins? Please explain before my eyes bleed from the stupidity of this future show." Mauler, can I turn this one over to you or what? Like, I'm out of ideas on this one. Why are they making this?
which show? Sorry,
The Witcher Blood Origins, so it's like a prequel to The Witcher, which was already
I don't
shit.
even. I have no familiarity with Witcher's IP, so I feel you guys' pain for those who do enjoy it. I suppose.
Did you ever play the games or that, no?
Nope.
Oh man.
Outies on
Play
that one.
Witcher 3.
Yeah,
Like honestly,
everyone
you
recommends
will
it.
love it. If you enjoyed something like God of War, you'll love that as well. But yeah, as far as Witcher Blood Origins goes, I think I'm going to go in the assumption that this was probably commissioned when the first season was yet to launch, and they just assumed, well, of course it'll be a massive success. We're smart people, and we'll release a good show. It's like The Witcher is super popular, and yeah, we can launch an extended universe with prequels and spin-offs and all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's only after those two seasons came out that they realized, oh my god, we've produced a giant steaming turd. What have we done? And this is what we're stuck with. Henry Cavill is bailing on us. The fans have bailed on us. Our writers are idiots. We're fucked, essentially. But we've invested this money, so it has to come out. So yeah, that's probably what's happened. I just I hate it when I see things like this where they've basically got an open goal and they still manage to miss. With The Witcher, it's like you've got reams and reams of books, games, like so much source material you can draw on. It shouldn't be hard to produce a good Witcher show, and yet they still found a way not to do it. So you get what you deserve, I guess.
Yeah.
Hikira says, "Always happy to have Disparu on." Well, so are we. He's always a good
Yeah.
guest. Above Water says, the fact that Avatar 2 doesn't have the message and has good action makes me pleasantly surprised. The bar is super low these days, though. It really is, yeah. I mean, I expect good action from James Cameron, so I'm sure he's going to deliver there. But as for the rest of it, I'm not hopeful.
We shall see.
Yeah. Cannon Folderall says, Hail Drinker and the mighty panel. Cheers. Thank you, man. Blue Team Epsilon says, Hey Drinker, cheers to the bar. Penny for your thoughts. As time passes, the SJs seem to get more radical and that it's starting to feel like reverse fascism. What are your thoughts on these developments? I mean, you're always going to encounter crazy people on social media, I guess. We certainly see it on a daily basis. And most of the time, I just kind of ignore them and laugh, I guess. But yeah, it's almost like, I don't know, the more extreme these people get, like the more supporters they lose because, you know, the further you shift in any direction, the more normal people you're going to leave behind. And I guess they're self defeating in that way. So, hey, just kind of laugh at them and let them go their own way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Freedom Bug says Mauler, born without love, would be known as Malur. Hail the Fellowship and this panel. Much love from this anti-woke Mexican American. Thank you very much. Love to you, my friend.
Malur.
You need a second channel called that. King's Advisors says, no way EFAT can do it in one sitting. Lol. I think that was what we were talking about before, I guess. NDG says, make Marvel male again. Reminds me of my own response to KK's forces female garbage. Midichlorians are male. Yeah. It's great because Chris was just shitstorming there, but man, the response to that was incredible. Heath D says, Eiffel 65 Blue should be edited into Avatar. I mean, of course, it's a logical choice, I suppose. Rolf Hartman says, you want a good female protagonist? The old lady in Night of the Hunter is a total boss. True. Chilled in Jersey says, great group tonight. I'm a Patreon, but I've always wondered that if I throw a few dollars on a super chat, is that shared with the guests, or should I support them in a different avenue? Thanks. Well, I mean, with super chats, like that just kind of goes into like the pool, I guess, for this channel. So yeah, if you're looking to support, say, Disparu or Chris Gore, like the best way is to subscribe to their unique channels, and if they're doing live streams, to send them a super chat or whatever. That's the best way to get money directly to them. So that's generally how these live streams are done. Jake Benoit says, cheers, gentlemen. As far as current franchises go, is John Wick the best one currently running? Why aren't directors like Stalinsky and the Raid's Gareth Evans more sought after? Maverick is better than Avatar 2. So, a lot to unpack there. I don't think Mo is going to suggest that John Wick is the best franchise going right now.
I would counter suggest Mission Impossible is the franchise that's running pretty well right now and has a big old history to appreciate. John Wick, no, I think it's been run into the ground. I think we're gonna get the same shit every single movie, and they'll have to get more ridiculous and stupid to keep people interested. It's gonna be the Fast and the Furious, but for assassins.
I'd be inclined to agree. Like the third one was going that direction for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, why aren't directors like the Raid's Gareth Evans more sought after? I genuinely don't know. I don't know if they don't have the connections or what, but yeah, it's a shame. I love the Raid. And yeah, I'll reserve judgment until I've seen it, but I do have the suspicion that I will still like Maverick better than Avatar 2. Warp says, so my question is, what do we do when they give this treatment to the Princess Bride, Back to the Future, and the Goonies? Because I have to imagine that is on a pitch board someplace. I'm sure it is.
And Gremlins, they'll do that as well.
And Back to the Future. Well, sorry, they've already said that there.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of franchises that fit the mold that they haven't gotten yet, and you know it's just because they're trying and there's rights issues or whatever.
Yep. But I think, well, they fail pretty much every time, and so we can just point and laugh when they fail and remind everyone, yep, they failed because these things didn't need to be remade in the first place, so maybe just leave them alone. Sub-Zero Pingu Drive says, petition to get the drinker to review Heartstopper. I mean, should I? Could I? Would I?
What
What do
is
you reckon?
Heartstopper?
I don't know. Let me
Well,
see. So there's a few different ones. Okay. The most recent one that I can find is on Netflix, and it's this year. This uplifting LGBTQ plus drama about teen friendship and young romance is based on the graphic novel by Alice Oseman. Yeah, it sounds right up my street, Mauler. Just the kind
hmm,
of thing that I would really love to settle down and watch.
a classic.
Jesus. Herbizoid says Lucas and Chris Claremont of the X-Men fame wrote a dark fantasy sequel trilogy to Willow called Shadow War Trilogy. There we go. Why didn't they just adapt that? Narso1 says, Cheers, Drinker. I've been a fan since I saw your female Thor video in 2019, so I've decided to send my first ever super chat. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm sorry it's taken me a couple of days to get back to you on that one. So, yeah, glad you've enjoyed my stuff. Zagros Ozcan says, Elon plugging the drinker. That was kind of cool, actually. If Elon Musk replies to you, you're doing okay. I should have told him to go away. Mr. Nobody says Mike Flanagan is adapting the Dark Tower for Prime. Should we be excited or horrified?
Uh, so in the pro column, he's a pretty good writer, and he's apparently going to get a lot of money, and you'll have access to pretty good actors. Con side, well, actually, another pro is that apparently he's a big fan of the source material, so that's good. Con side is that he'll take a lot of liberties when he adapts stuff, historically speaking, and so not sure what Dark Tower fans are going to be getting exactly. And of course, it's Amazon, so don't know what they're gonna mangle that thing into. So yeah, it's definitely a I don't know what's gonna happen with that one sort of thing.
I would like to see what he can do with it. I guess you know
Yeah,
he's a pretty interesting writer and director. So
yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
Mario Trujillo says, despite Chrissy's abused spouse take on Avatar 2 Liquid Boogaloo, I hope it fails because it embodies the throw a lot of money at this and fuck the story mentality that Hollywood loves. Let it die, just let it die. I have to assume that if it's James Cameron working on it, like he's gonna have invested a lot of effort into this. Surely, especially if it's taken him 13 years. I don't know if it's time well spent, but I'll give him a little benefit of the doubt until he proves otherwise. So, I'll go
Yeah.
into it with an open mind. Primark Vulcan says, speaking of Whitney Houston, which I'm sure we weren't, but Magog, did you see that video of the deaf mute trans Brazilian woman singing Whitney Houston? What? How can a mute person sing?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm sure it was a rousing performance, though. Charles W. Jansen says research is a prerequisite for writing any story. Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
James Potkins says Jennifer Lawrence invented Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah. And the only person that can destroy Jennifer Lawrence is Jennifer Lawrence.
My God.
It's inception of Lawrence's. John Smith says, did you see the article where Amelia Clark brought attention to how only 16% of creatives are working class? Also thoughts on American Beauty, 1999. So I don't doubt the fact that like there's a very low percentage of working class people in the arts in general because it's an industry where you kind of need like money behind you to get into it. Because I imagine it takes a long time to start earning anything out of it. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it's kind of hard to say. I don't know. I don't know if we go back far enough in time that it's like a better split than it is these days. I don't know if it's like you can get into the arts more when you have money to burn. Maybe you can test
Well,
and
that's
experiment more.
well, I mean that's kind of my assumption. Like, say you
Yeah,
wanted to become an actor
maybe.
or whatever, it's like you might struggle for years just trying to get parts and trying to get noticed, all that stuff. But like you have to live obviously during that time, and so it's going to be a lot more helpful if say you've got a wealthy family behind you that can like back you and pay your bills and stuff while you're doing that, and it gives you that time to pursue that career. Same with being a writer or any kind of creative. So yeah, I can totally buy into that. I don't know what the solution is to that problem though, because what do you just give out grants to people or something, and just kind of finance them to do this stuff or what?
Yeah, I don't know about solutions for that one.
Fod Rergerson says Warwick Davis is most famous for encountering a guilt-ridden Liam Neeson confessing to unprotected intercourse with African women. What?
What? Oh, are they talking about
Something
the Life is Short sketch, or is that something else?
I don't know.
I think that's the Life is Short thing.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes you see a super chat and you're just
Yeah.
like, should I read this out? What? NDG says, ask the cast of The Abyss how much fun they had. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
did a video on that. I love how Ed Harris says, yeah, we all like lost our minds at one point and started trashing the green room just because we had nothing to do. Yeah, fair play. I think it was probably worse for Cameron though, because he almost died, like legit almost drowned when his regulator failed and it started squirting seawater into his mouth instead of oxygen.
Must have been terrifying.
Well, yeah, and like he was, because he was down there with a safety diver, and he like obviously his first thought was like, I need to, spit this thing out in my mouth and get to the surface as quickly as possible. And so the the dude who was with him was like, oh shit, he's freaking out. I need to stop him because he'll get like decompression sickness or something if he tries to go up now. So he grabs him and he's like holding him down. And
Yeah.
James Cameron's like, no, I'm dying. You need to let go. So he had to punch him he like legit punched him right in the face, like knocked his mask off. The guy let go of him so he could swim to the surface, and yeah, he just barely made it up. Like got rushed off to hospital, and then he was back filming again within about 3 or 4 hours, which is pretty impressive.
Quite the machine.
Yeah. So, Archangel says the problem with Marvel and Lucasfilm is logic. Oh, who needs logic when you have feelings, you know? The Trevel says, talking of the IT crowd, do you think Wong has ever officiated a street countdown battle? I'd like to think he has. What do you reckon?
I'm not sure.
Neil Lindgren says Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote both John Carter and Tarzan. Did he write John Carter? No. Wait, I need to find this out now. Oh my god, I think he did actually. Yeah, fictional Virginian soldier who acts as the initial protagonist of the Barsum stories by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Fair enough. Wow.
Hmm.
There you go. And that became one of the biggest flops that Disney ever had. Well, JS Pena says, where can I find your email? It's floating out there in cyberspace. Well, it's if you go to the About section on my channel, there's a business email there. You just click the link and it'll take you in. You can email me. So there you go. The Simpsons since '90 says, in between Jack Ryan, Alex Cross, and other reads through the year, I read all 11 books of the Drake series, which is impressive because there's only 9. Finished STDF in a hospital bed after getting my gallbladder removed. Merry whatever. Damn, man, I hope you're okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it just occurred to me, actually, yeah, I suppose if you count the novellas, then there is 11. So, yeah. Thank you for reading them all, and I hope you enjoyed them. The Obscene Unicorn says, apostasy is a sickness that must be destroyed. Long live the message. Okay. Swear your allegiance to the message. Mr. Tickletrunk says, I've been subscribed to Magog from the start. It's always surreal to see people that I've watched forever here, like Undoomed or Magog here. I expect my mum to show up at some point now, so when she inevitably does, please be kind. I promise nothing. Shame Jeremy isn't in character here. Hopefully next time, but can we get a good Magog worship me? We can try. We'll ask him. Yendor says, John Carter was based on Princess of Mars. 1912 that was written by Tarzan author Edgar Rice Burroughs. When did we start talking about John Carter of Mars?
I think it
Must have
came up
been...
at some point, yeah. I just can't remember.
Okay. I was several Jack Daniels in by that point, so maybe that's why I forgot. Minor Offense says, hey Drinker, love your videos. I was wondering if you guys have seen the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 trailer, and if so, what do you think of it? I liked it. Don't know what you think.
I have hope, yeah. I laughed at the main jokes that were in there, and I can see that they clearly he's deliberately shown us shots of everybody being incredibly distraught. So I
Yeah.
imagine we're losing 2 Guardians in this probably.
I mean, this is the last one, isn't it? Like, I don't think they're going to do another Guardians after this.
I think not only is James Gunn obviously moving on to DC, but the crew that made these together have been the same crew for a while, and I imagine that James Gunn being like, you guys, you'll be handled by someone else in future. They're probably like, maybe I'm done now. I could see Chris Pratt honestly being done with the MCU at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I think pretty much everyone at Disney probably hates him for
And so
unspecified reasons.
at that point, I would just be like, yeah, when you like, I've been speculating with Fringy, like, who do you think's gonna die, sort of thing. And it's like it could be Star Lord. Like they could end his story at this point. I don't know.
Yeah. I think Star Lord will die and Gamora will be the new Star Lord.
Yeah,
Because
no way,
why not?
no way they're killing Gamora.
No, not again. They've done that already. So, yeah. I could see them killing Rocket. I think that would hit hard.
Yeah, could happen.
Soda's Back says, Hello, lads. What are we drinking tonight? Well, I don't know what we were on last night, but I've got some Jack Daniels here, so I'm keeping it classic drinker. Ghost in the Craig says, Indiana Jones and the... What's that? And fuck the D&D. Made a mashup of the new D&D movie and Indy 5. He travels through a Jumanji-style portal and becomes a monster hunter. Do it. Make it. D. Matthews says, I can't believe I played through the entire story of Cyberpunk 2077 without realizing that the drinker and Johnny Silverhand are the same person. What can I say?
My God.
Me and Keanu Reeves were like that. We're tight. Anyway, Ricardo Aguirre says, love all you guys. Here's a question for all of you. If Hollywood didn't go batshit years ago, what would you guys be doing? Whoa, good question.
Probably still breaking stuff down for the fun of it. Hopefully, media.
Yeah, I would be writing books still, and yeah, probably just reviewing movies. Like, kind of like Mauler says, it's something that I've always enjoyed doing anyway, and it doesn't matter if Hollywood's gone nuts or not. Like, there's always good and bad movies. They
Yeah.
might be bad for different reasons, but like they're still fun to talk about. Like, it's always fun to point and laugh if a movie's shit, and talk about why a plot works or whatever. So, yeah, probably still be doing it anyway. Raging Bull says, shout out to Pippa Pipkin. The based bunny needs you. Love you all, drinker. Bless your liver. I hope you're still around many years to come. I promise nothing. The Gourd King says, Adam was taken from the rib of Jennifer Lawrence. Best of Reddit says, there are only 2 living humans left on Earth, you and She-Hulk. Do you repopulate or let the human race die out?
We had a good run.
I think I'd call it quits at that point. Guardian Fortress says, I love Willow, and I know it's not perfect, but these shows make it seem that way. Yeah, it's retrospective, I suppose. But yeah, it'll make you appreciate the original all the more. Leonardo gave me $5, so thank you. Jason Burns says, this is how bad the writing in Willow is. They actually cut and pasted the horse cliff jumping scene from Young Guns 2. Let that set in. Indeed. Matt Bender says, they should have rebooted a whole new Indiana Jones with Chris Pratt. Could have been a massive money machine if done correctly. Fits the role. Yeah, but I just don't think Disney would hire Chris Pratt for something like that now. He doesn't fit with the company values, you see. And Mia Rue says, I'm a half Korean woman, but I related to Virgil from the Static Shock as a kid. That's a character that you can relate to. Sorry, what's a character that you relate to that doesn't resemble you at all? I think we must have talked about them ad nauseum at this point.
One is a character that doesn't resemble you at all, but that you relate to.
I always related to the Elephant Man.
Um, yeah, I can see some resemblance.
Yeah, it's getting there.
I should have plenty of answers for this, but I need to like pull up all of my favorite stuff. Basically, I'm like, I should just run to fantasy immediately, and then I should be able to find some stuff, right? Like, I don't know. I don't look like
Well, you
any of
don't
the
look like
hobbits.
Frodo. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you don't look like Samwise Gamgee. Um,
I don't look like Sauron. I felt a lot for him. I,
yeah.
I, I resonated with that character.
I
He
mean,
had
Luke
a hard time.
Skywalker wasn't like a 10-year-old kid from Scotland, but I could relate to his struggles and his journey that he was on. I guess like are we saying like characters that we can just put ourselves into their shoes, like we relate to their struggles, or just like people that we just found really interesting and we found them compelling. We empathized with them.
Well, yeah, because you have like Vader, right? Like it's coming through for a loved one despite your flaws and stuff. It's like that's pretty relatable.
Hmm.
And he's a cyborg man, so
Yeah.
not many of us are cyborg men.
Well, not that you know about anyway.
Oh,
That critical drinker plush that they made, that's a perfect replica, in fact.
yeah.
Um, all right, give me 1 second here, because that was all the super chats from the other night. So I'm just loading up the ones that came tonight while we were chatting away here.
Sweet.
Okay, so the first one was Batman's pet goldfish says Mublishy. Apologies for the torture that you put us through yesterday. Or he's saying
Uh,
apologize.
I don't know what that was yesterday. It was 11 and a half hours of pain.
Oh,
We had 6 cast members who stayed for the whole thing, including Mark the Cyborg. Actually, he's gonna have some stories for X-Ray Girl.
that is impressive stuff. Like 11
Yeah.
hours streaming. That's the sort of
So,
thing you can write
so
a biography about.
someone just said it's absolute lunacy, and it's like it was lunacy. It was insane. And yeah, I apologize to anybody who went through it all, but hey, I wasn't gonna go through all that stuff myself just to suffer alone. Okay.
That was fair play. Misery loves company and all that.
Yep.
Nikki D asks, "Greetings, gents. Drinker, please ask Muller if he has seen Top Gun Maverick yet, and if so, what are his thoughts? Happy holidays."
What was
You've
that?
seen
My
it,
thoughts on what was it?
Top Gun Maverick.
No, I haven't seen
Oh my fucking god!
it.
And it's like every stream I end up talking about it in some way and gushing over it, and it's like you've still never seen it. Fucking hell.
I want to do. I've seen Top Gun, obviously, but I want to do them back to back again, like sort of. But I gotta find time. Dude. I need to watch all of Andor. My fans are getting very upset with me for that one.
Yeah, honestly, I think it would be really interesting to get your take on Andor. Well, and Top Gun Maverick, but yeah, like to see you like take on a Star Wars show that actually had a bit of intelligence put into it, like a bit of thought and care. That'll be an interesting one. I'm sure there's
I'll,
plenty of things still to pick apart from it, but um, yeah,
I'll do
overall, I
it.
think you'll at least have more to get your teeth into with something, with something like Book of Boba Fett. There's not even
Oh
much
yeah,
plot for you to analyze. It's more just like, yeah, this is just garbage. It's just lazy shite. But at least with Andor, there's more going on, I suppose.
yeah.
All right. Next one is from Crusty Jugglers. Do you guys plan on watching Violent Night? Yes, I do. Fantastic callbacks to Home Alone. We need more movies like this one. Good comedy and genuinely heartfelt moments mixed in. I absolutely recommend it. I want to watch it. I don't know about you.
I've heard mixed to good things, so I want to see it now.
Looney Lenny says they made Dracula Untold too. What? No. Why?
Why not?
I hate this
Why
timeline.
not?
Hyperbolic Ninja says, Mauler, please tell Drinker that he'd better start naming them. We need more truly honest men like Synthetic.
Oh God. Oh
Them.
God. It's this whole thing. I don't want to explain it. Let's just say, as we said on the stream, there's someone out there who went full Kanye in terms of who's behind all of the bad things.
Right, okay.
It started out as a review of a video game, and it didn't end that way.
It always has to go down a bad road.
Yep.
Callie Sue says, will you be reviewing The English with Emily Blunt? I found it to be, despite a few holes, better than most westerns from the US in decades. Wow, okay. I mean, that sounds good. And it's got Emily Blunt, who I do quite like. Yeah, maybe need to give it a look.
Maybe.
Kevin O'Neill says, I know you're too humble to brag about trivial things like numbers, but well earned on surpassing Red Letter Media's subscriber count. Thank you. Well, cheers.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Not bad.
Casey Boyd says next Kickstarter campaign should be for a drinker reality show like Kitchen Nightmares, drinkers pub nightmares. Instead of a kitchen, it's a drinker going into writers' rooms, screaming at them and throwing whiskey glasses. I would love that actually. Oh, the fun I could have in the She-Hulk writers' room. I think I would just bring in bring in whiskey and steaks and just like make them eat meat. This is like, here, take this, you need it. Yeah, fucking hell. It's I don't know what I'd have to do to, the Marvel writers' rooms to try and put these shows in order. It'd be a lot though.
Restart.
Checkmate.
Just
Yeah.
restart, yeah.
Checkmate says, "Love your work, but please don't use Jesus to swear on vids." I can't help it. It's one of the few things that YouTube lets you get away with because, man, they're cracking down on the swearing. I'll
Don't
tell
worry.
you.
Drink is referring to a different Jesus.
Yeah, I'm referring to Jesus. I just, I'm Scottish and
Yeah.
I don't pronounce it right. So, yeah, it's
There you
just a
go.
friend of mine called Jesus. Itchy Elbows says, would love to see a vid on Escape from New York. Well, it will come. Believe that. Name's Ryan, 50 years ago, says, ow, my eye's really itchy. Fuck. What do you want to see in the Batman sequel?
Are they saying like villains or just in general?
Just in general, what I want from it, I could do with it being a bit shorter.
Let's get
Yeah.
some more Bruce Wayne stuff going, shall we?
I mean, I want a really good Joker, and I want to see him do some good detective work. And yeah, Christ, get Robert Pattinson to bulk up a little bit. He's growing into the role of Batman now, and he needs to reflect that physically. So, I guess that's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Gotham City that looks like Gotham as well. Still feel like we don't really get that anymore. Jay, the real McCoy, says, open bar? Well, I'd like a wild turkey with a shot of Red Bull mixed with hypnotic, please. We'll do what we can. Robo96 says, this for £50, so thank you, man. Hi, Drinker. I don't know if you agree, but regarding Doctor Who, they killed it by rewriting his backstory and over-elevating his status in Timeless Child. Preaching social justice issues is annoying, but it's reversible, and endless regenerations ruins his vulnerability. Yeah, absolutely does. Where's the stakes if he's literally unkillable? It's pointless.
I'd say as much as they did major damage with the Timeless Children, it's not like if you threw that in a season that was excellent, that alone would destroy everything. It would do serious damage. It's like the whole era, the Chibnall era, from everything I've seen, is incredible in terms of how badly written it is.
Yep, agreed. Casey Boyd says, I asked Mauler on Open Bar why he didn't like The Boys. I didn't understand why because I had just finished Season 1. Now I've finished Seasons 2 and 3. Season 1 is a great drunk, while 2 and 3 are the hangover.
Well, there you go.
Samurai D. Phil says, Jennifer Lawrence is the chicken and the egg.
Whoa.
Mind blown. Akindolfer says, Hail Drinker and Long Person. I watched JCVD just yesterday and loved it. Good man. Never knew Jean-Claude could actually act. He can, and he brings his A game to that movie. I've got a lot of love for that film, and it's a shame it didn't get more attention, really. I don't know if you've ever seen it, Mauler.
Wait,
Mauler's
sorry, what?
dead.
I missed that. My bad.
JCVD.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
You not seen it? Oh, you
No.
gotta watch that one, man.
No wonder I
think
got
you'd like it.
confused. I was like, is that... I thought that was like initials or something.
Yeah, so it's starring Jean-Claude Van Damme as himself, and the movie's called JCVD.
Right,
And,
right, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
no,
a little bit of a piss take, but quite serious as well.
I've seen him in basically zero things. I managed to completely miss him, like, compared to a lot of the others. Like Stallone and Schwarzenegger. Like, he's just someone I didn't really see his stuff.
Oh, you must have seen Universal Soldier at the very least.
I'm
Come on,
pretty
man.
sure I saw that, but I got no memory of it at this point, so... yeah.
Yeah.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Got to expand your repertoire here. I mean,
Yeah.
well, this has come from a guy, like, every second question that comes my way, it's like, no, I've not seen that movie, sorry.
Not everyone saw everything, but together, we're a powerhouse. There you go.
Yes. Leaf Eric says, Drinker, when does your short film come out? Also, and when do we get to see a full feature? I'll go away now. So, I mean, the short film realistically is going to be out towards the end of next year. Even for something like this, because it's now expanded, it's going to be like 40 minutes ish in length. So it's a decent length now. But yeah, now because we've actually got the money, it means like we have to take, we have to get a location booked, and we have to get the actors that we need. Because before it might have been just, well, we've got a couple of people who are willing to do it for basically free because we've got no money to pay them really, and we're just calling a bunch of favors and we can do it, within a few months. Now it's like, well, we actually have to hire people. We've got to like work out schedules and stuff. Well, I don't have to do that, but the director and the producers do. And so the plan is that they're going to shoot it in the springtime. They'll do all the post production, the editing and stuff, and it'll come out probably autumn time next year. So yeah, it's a bit of a lead time, but that's what it takes to get these things done properly, I suppose, and that's what they're trying to do. Is like a proper, well produced short film. But yeah, I'm still posting, or we all are basically posting updates regularly on the Kickstarter page so that people can keep track of what we're doing. But yeah, and as far as features go, the plan is we get this out, like I say, towards the end of next year. Hopefully, it's going to be well received. It may then get us attention to, get investors involved to do a proper feature film. So that is the plan, and that would be like the following year, I guess. Frameshoot says, love the content, guys. Recently rested Mauler plushie 2.0. Now Drinker, have someone to share a drink with. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Cool.
got the Mauler plushie. It's in the background there, actually. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'll go get it.
I have quite the plushy family growing myself. It was funny, Mel posted a picture of his plushies, and there was, I liked it. I saw a bunch of responses, and one of them was like, it's pretty parasocial, which is hilarious, because Mel's the only person I think I've met in real life. There, look
There
at
you
him.
go. There it is. It's pretty cool, actually. I love how he's got the little cookie thing there. That's cool. Okay, next one is David Lamplow says, I recommend Bullet Train if you want a good movie. It has basic but engaging concept with great action and comedy with no agenda. I'd love to review. Yeah, it's one of those things I just haven't got around to reviewing yet, but it will absolutely get done. Probably yeah, things slow down a little bit over the holiday period, so it's probably a good time to do it. LD Shine says, greetings, Drinker and Mauler. Open bar was great as always. Mauler, do you think that you could do an EFAP movies arc on the Twilight Saga? Watching the EFAP crew react to those awful movies would be glorious.
If the guys are interested in it, maybe. Maybe we could do that for Halloween.
I watched like one of the Twilight movies. I think it was the first or the second, and I just wanted to murder myself. Like, it was so awful. It was so dreary, so like drenched in like emo pretentiousness. God, it was a slog. I couldn't ever imagine watching all of them. I
Alcohol.
genuinely don't understand what made them a thing. Like, why did Twilight become a thing?
I mean, that's for scientists to figure out, I think.
I mean, have you seen them all?
I saw the first one, and I saw one other one at some point, half watching at some party. That's my experience with Twilight.
Dan Crace gave us $100. Damn, man. Thank you for your generosity. He says, what do you think about Mike Flanagan being confirmed to do a series adaptation of The Dark Tower? That's weird, we just had one like this. Flanagan loves the source material and has a vision for what he wants to do. I'm just worried Amazon are going to ruin it with their studio meddling and wokeness.
All you can say is we're just gonna have to wait, see what they do. What else can you say?
I mean, the thing I would say as well is like Amazon also, oh shit, Amazon also produced the Terminal List, which is like the exact opposite of being woke. So
Well, yeah, it's when people say stuff like, "Oh God, it's a Netflix show." I'm like, Netflix have some good shows, so like
yeah,
it's not a guarantee. We don't know what's happening.
and yeah, like Flanagan, I do like his writing. I like his dialogue. I like the way he constructs his characters and stuff. Yeah, pretty much enjoyed everything that he's produced so far. So yeah, I'd love to see his take on it, I guess. Night King 01 says, "Have you seen Mallrats? I think the first 45 minutes are good when it's just them doing random stuff in the mall. The plot sucks. I have never seen Mallrats in my life.
I've seen it, but I don't remember much of anything about it. Um,
I've never had any desire to see it, really. It's Kevin Smith, isn't it, who did it?
yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
anyway. I know is Jay and Silent Bob. They're in Mallrats, right?
I think so, yeah.
I don't even know what that because what's with the because I get confused trying to remember it all because you got the Clerks movies, but then you've also got that, and you've also got is it Dogma, which has a whole bunch of famous people in it, and Jay and Silent Bob, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Is there
and
a
I
Jay and
haven't
Silent Bob
seen.
universe or something?
Yeah, there is some kind of extended universe for this, but like I've never seen Dogma, and yeah, I don't know, man, because Kevin Smith's such a massive bell end now. I never feel compelled to like go back and revisit his old stuff, which is a
Yeah,
shame because I think probably he's a different man back then.
yeah.
Yeah, cause why not? Says, "Hey guys, I've been a huge fan of both your content and love how you critique and deconstruct media. As an aspiring writer, I was curious, especially from Drinker, if there were any books or sources that you'd recommend for learning about writing. Well, I can answer this one really easily. I have never read a single book about like how to do creative writing. Never bothered with it. I guess I just learned by doing and kind of experimentation and making a few mistakes and gradually finding the thing that worked for me. So I don't really have a thing I can recommend for you. I know a few other people that I've spoken to over the years. They recommended On Writing by Stephen King. Apparently, that's a pretty good insight into the writing process. Again, didn't read it myself, but that's what I've been told. But that's all I can do in terms of recommendations for you. I learned by doing, I suppose.
Hmm.
Sir Marhouse says, "Sorry, drinker, you don't call it the woke enough. Unfollowing 400 down to 40 now. You're a clearly controlled opposition. My favorite streamer said so."
Yeah,
Well, clearly, yeah.
was one of his quotes. He said that he was subscribed to 400 people and it's down to 40 now because they're all not calling out woke enough.
Oh, fuck. This is gonna hurt my channel, man. I'm worried. I'm worried. A Chernobog says, "Hey Baller, remember Joseph Anderson? Horror games aren't scary because you can respawn. Someone buy him a VR headset that kills you when you lose."
And then he'll finally get a horror game.
That is a thing. There is actually a VR headset that will kill you,
That's
apparently, if you lose.
horrifying, though. Like, actually, that's
Hmm.
some Saw shit. They probably will do that in the newest Saw films.
I honestly, if Hideo Kojima finds out about this, he will implement that in his games. Like
Yep.
he seems like that kind of guy. Captain Biscuits says, "Do you give shout outs to small creators like me?" Well, I mean, I can right now if you like. Captain Biscuits, yo, give him some follows and subscribers. If he's got a channel, anyway, he's not giving me a link to it, but there you go. Sir Marhouse says, "Sorry, drinker, you wait, what?" There's another one. Okay, this is just a repeat of the same one. And he also says, "Oops, sent it twice on accident, but here's a fiver to show you that it's just a meme. Thank you, man." Unhinged says, "I need to go to my quiet place." I think we all do. Sophie says, "Hi, boys. Muller, any re-release of your plushie?"
Well, I mean, technically, the 2.0 one was kind of a re-release. It was a different design to make sure that it would still be different. But in terms of if you're asking like when will a third one come out, I mean, probably not for some time. Want to give a bit of a gap for it, sort of thing. But I don't see why we wouldn't do it again. A lot of people missed the first wave, and then a lot of people said they missed the second wave. So I guess there's always new people coming in and people who look for a
Hmm.
chance. So we'll make
Yeah.
sure to let you guys know when the next one comes up, but it's probably not going to be for some time.
I mean, it's a shame they can't just make it available all the time, just like, made to order, I guess.
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to pretend to have any clue how the company works. So, but it's it would be nice if it could be just a big store filled with all these different plushies that you can choose from and stuff.
Yeah.
But oh well.
He was also saying, "Drinker watched Troll last night. Not too bad, but Christianity is bad, apparently." Yeah, I've seen like the trailers for Troll and it made it look okay, but then I think Andre from Midnight's Edge wasn't too impressed by it.
The,
Also saying, sorry,
the,
what was
the
that, man?
mention of Christianity in the movie about a giant troll.
I don't know. I mean, maybe is it
Just
like a clash between like pagan Norse
oh,
mythology
maybe.
versus Christianity or something? Because I think it's taking place in like Norway or somewhere like that, isn't it? It's like a team of Norwegian scientists that have got to try and take this thing on.
All right, yeah. I don't know.
They also say, boys saw the People's Choice Awards winners. Noah Schnapp won over Oscar Isaac. Greetings. I don't actually know what either one of them were nominated for,
I know
but yeah,
that name though, right? Like, what's
hold on. Noah Schnapp, People's Choice Awards. Right, so Noah Schnapp wins the award for Male TV Star of the Year.
oh,
Wait,
Stranger
what did he
Things.
actually? Oh, right. What was he?
What was he?
Yeah.
I think is Noah Schnapp.
Oh, Will Byers, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, fuck that. God, he doesn't deserve a fucking award for that.
I mean, he had some scenes where he was trying to show off some acting, but I don't know if
He
I don't know
cries
if
a
I.
lot.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'd be curious to know who his competition is.
Yeah. Well, Oscar Isaac, apparently.
Hmm. In
Derp
Moon
Skink.
Knight,
Yeah.
but
Derp
I guess
Skington.
that's fair. Yeah, I don't know. I hate Moon Knight. Like, but like he
I,
was, you know.
yeah, I hate Moon Knight, but I like Oscar Isaac, so it's a
Yeah, that's what
tricky
I'm saying. Like,
prospect.
and he put effort into the role. I'm not going to deny him that. Uh, it's true.
There we go. I think we got the real answer though. Jennifer Lawrence was Moon Knight before Moon Knight. Okay, next one is where are you? Derp Skington says war movie recommendation. Mosul is a 2020 movie focused on an Iraqi police unit battling ISIS during the 2017 battle. It's basic, but it gets the details and the overall feel right, in my opinion. Having multiple deployments to various GWOT theaters. Would like to see your take. I think that'd be a good, a good premise for a film actually to see it from the Iraqi soldiers' point of view. You know, probably guys who are a bit reluctant to be doing this, but like, yeah, having to take on ISIS is pretty awesome. So yeah, I'd
Hmm.
be interested to watch that one. The Norwegian Tax Authority says, thanks, Drinker, for giving us Adam Smith, so I can read a book to understand why I have an ulcer and my boss has a yacht. Okay. Naughty Wookie, give us a thumbs up. No, sorry, a good game super sticker, so thank you. Daniel says, been watching you for years, man. I figured I'd finally donate. It would be more, but I'm a broke. That's alright, man, and I appreciate the donation. Thank you. Let me just see here. Oh yeah. King's Advisor says loved last night's EFAP Mauler.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad anybody was able to survive it.
Green Destroyer says why can't Hollywood make or Marvel make a good Hulk movie? It can't be that hard. Apparently it is.
Yeah.
It's 3 times they've done it now. Jeff Gachins says, good evening, gents. What is your favourite hidden gem TV show? Mine is Turn, Washington Spies. Highly recommended. Yeah, hidden gem, like a show that doesn't get nearly enough attention.
Um. Hmm. Do you say it has to be a show?
I guess so, yeah. That's kind of the framing he's given it here.
I quite liked and saw nobody talking about it. The show Awake. Did you ever watch this with Jason Isaacs?
Don't think so.
The premise is he's in a car accident, and once he wakes up from it, his life is split in two. Being whenever he goes to sleep, he switches to the other, and in one life he lost his son, and the other life he lost his wife.
Right, okay.
Um, and then there's hints about something grander happening, and at the same time there's a big sort of uh, let's say conspiracy thing happening within the. He's a police officer, a detective, and he works with like a thing, and basically the car crash may have been caused by his own sort of organization, and he starts to try and find out. And obviously, what he finds out in one world affects the other in terms of he now knows the because they're both the same world, but they splinter off in different directions. And I guess I'm praising it more so for the the concept, and I think that's pretty bold. And you could go as far as doing some really interesting things. But it only got the one season, then it was cancelled. And I remember really liking the first season. I was like, this is cool, more.
Hmm.
But it didn't get more.
Okay. That's interesting enough, though.
Yeah.
Um, what's this one? Tan Wang says, "Hello, Drinker and Mauler. Drinker, will you be reviewing Cocaine Bear when it comes out?" Yes, I will. Please ask and force Mauler to watch it. Mauler,
Sure,
watch it. Do it.
fine. Wait, am I supposed to watch Cocaine Bear or Maverick?
Uh, do both. Do a marathon of them. Like that's going to be quite the contrast, I would
Do them
imagine.
back to back. They're very similar.
Yeah. Kelvin Thompson says, I think my super chat got missed, but I'm a screenwriter and filmmaker, and I'd love to know who influenced your writing process the most, Drinker. Well, I don't think I missed any, but yeah, if you were interested in my writing process, I don't feel like anyone particularly influenced me. Like someone was asking me earlier, like, have you read any books on creative writing that you followed? And my answer was no. Like, I just learned it as I went, and so maybe I just developed my own method, I suppose. But um, yeah, my method for writing books is that I write a pretty detailed synopsis. Like, I'm a plotter, and I like to have a good sense of what the story is going to be, who's in it, what all the major beats are, how it all ties together before I start writing. Because particularly if you're going to do a complex thriller with lots of interweaving plot strands, you need to make sure that it all hangs together properly before you start because there's a lot going on. And yeah, there's nothing worse than getting halfway through a book and realizing you've kind of fucked up and you need to go back and change a bunch of stuff. So that's my process for planning it. And then when it comes to writing it, it's just keep grinding, I suppose. Keep the momentum going. Don't stop for a couple of weeks and go do other stuff because you'll completely you'll lose your momentum for it. And that's really how I do my writing, I suppose. John Smith says extra shots reviews for Cliffhanger, Running Man, and Blob 1988. Well, I can guarantee you two of those. I don't know about the Blob. I don't know if I'd give it a thumbs up, but hey, first two, love them. The provocateur extraordinaire says, I think I missed the story behind the beard bird. As a fellow facial hair haver, I'm in love. I love it, Drinker. Beard eagle. What?
I'm all right.
I don't know what to say. Casey Boyd says, the tides are turning. Did you read about Chris Hemsworth interview where he implied that he's sick of Taika Waititi indirectly? I did hear about this, yeah, but did he not say like he doesn't want to work with like madcap directors or something or mad
Mad
geniuses?
geniuses, yeah. The quotes I saw really made it seem like he was talking about Taika Waititi, but I suppose he could be talking about anybody. Though I think
Yeah,
if you can combo it with the whole like he doesn't want to play Thor until there's a good plan for Thor again,
yeah.
and it's just like you have to believe the fact that he's just like, what happened, man? I was playing a character, now I'm just a clown. Like it's not fair.
Yeah, and I think that speaks highly of him because, from what I've heard, like the atmosphere on Taika Waititi's sets is really good because he basically just lets the actors dick around and do whatever they want. Like he's not a hard driving director. And so you
Yeah,
kind of assume like, well, people are going to love him for that because like they don't have to work all that hard. But then Hemsworth, I guess, is invested enough in the character that he's able to say, well, no, I don't want him to just be this comedy fool that people just laugh at. Like, there's meant to be more to him than that. He's worth more than that. And so, yeah, good on you, Chris, if that's the case. The follow up question was also, why does Seth Rogen keep getting work? He's an exec on many projects. I genuinely couldn't tell you. I don't know why. Maybe he just knows the
yeah.
right people at this point. But he's just a gigantic bell end, really. Ezra Miller's cellmate says, will ND5 be worse than Star Wars and Doctor Who? I can't see how it's going to be good, put it that way.
I, I got no predictions for what Indy 5 is going to end up being. I don't know. Like, obviously, it's probably going to be shit, but like, what kind of shit? I don't know.
A bad kind. Old shit,
Okay.
probably. James Dolphy Jr. says, you guys are changing culture and it's glorious. You're much appreciated. By the way, I'm watching See No Evil, Hear No Evil. Such an amazing movie you probably couldn't do today. First ever super chat also. Thank you, man. There's a lot of first ever super chats tonight. I'm liking it. But yeah, see no evil, hear no evil. I'm trying to remember who's in that again. Is
Isn't it
it? Is that
Gene
that
Wilder
comedian dude?
and um I forget the other guy.
Hold on.
Or am I mixing people up?
I'm sure it's got like one of the sort of 1980s comedians. See no evil. All right. So it had Richard Pryor. That's it. Yeah.
Pryor and Wilder, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Kevin Spacey as well, apparently. Christ, that must have been an early role for him.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, good stuff. Night King 01 says, I want to see your take on Mallrats. I think we both have to watch it then, I guess, before we could do that. One man says, what the fuck? Where was the finger banging in Wednesday? I know, right? It's almost like two young women can just be friends with each other and not want to bang each other. It's like, is there some weird fetish going on amongst writers in Hollywood where it's just like, they just desperately want lesbian action? There's sites for that kind of thing, guys. Like, you don't have to work it into every script that you do. It's weird. It's just, I always imagine like women watching that must be so pissed off. They're just like, yeah, like I can be friends with other women, and not want to have sex with them. That's how relationships work. They can be platonic.
Oh, it is sad that we're at a point where they don't. There's not many great portrayals of friendships because people were saying about
No,
how like people want to see more father son dynamics portrayed, and it's like yeah, and friendships that would be cool. We get a lot of other stuff. It's kind of how it works, right? You find gaps in the market. There's people start craving stuff, and you can find out what they're craving before they do.
yeah. And ironically, like the things that they're craving are just the stuff that we've been getting for decades up until recently. It's like they just want classic stuff. But yeah, the thing is as well, like Wednesday has been pretty good when I've been watching it. I've enjoyed it. I think the casting is absolutely superb, and yeah, a lot of the dialogue's really good. So
Would you recommend?
I'll wait until I get to the end of the series, but so far I'm liking it.
All
So
right.
yeah. Jaro Mayo says, if you had powers like Superman, how quickly would you abuse it? Instantly. There you go. A year, a month, a day, or an hour. I think, being realistic with this, it would probably happen over a course of months because you would start out like thinking, well, I can use this to help people, and you would genuinely, but then you would start to like carry that over to like punishing people that you considered were wicked, and maybe like you would start to not care quite as much if there was like enough evidence to prove that they were, and then you would get annoyed that people tried to get in your way, and yeah, I can see how it would spiral out of control relatively quickly. I mean, maybe that's just me.
Maybe it is.
Callie Sue says, cheers to pronouncing my name correctly. Yes, I did it. Thank you. I think there's only a couple more actually. Where is it? Arrow. This, speaking of pronouncing names correctly, Kizilkaya says, please watch Max Landis' video about you. It's essentially about adaptations. Cheers from Turkey. I will get round to watching that. I'm intrigued to see what he's got to say. G Unit says, as a Scotsman, have you ever seen Sean Connery in Sidney Lumet's The Hill? It also has Ian Bannon and Harry Andrews. It's a classic. No, and I thought it was pretty well up in my Sean Connery movies, but I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, neither have I.
Douglas Burton says, Drinker and Mauler, what are the chances that your extended YouTube network creates its own film awards ceremony? That'd be awesome. It'd be more interesting in what you all nominated and awarded as Best Picture, plus the Cringe Awards. I think that could be something, It's like we'll make a non-bullshit Oscars and just give our like awards for best movies and all that stuff.
How would it work? Would it be like based on votes from, I guess,
I
the
think we'd
audience or us or?
No, I think it'd have to be us. We'd have to assemble a panel like the Academy, and just each of us gets a vote. We'll like maybe roughly agree on like the nominees, and then vote on who we think should win. Whoever gets the most. When's
The
it?
only problem is that I'd have to keep up to date with all modern movies. I barely keep up to date right now. It would be horrible. But I would,
Guys,
if you was set something up like that, I would indulge. I would get us a list of all the movies we got to see, and then we'll do the votes.
okay. Oh yeah, I'll just do all the donkey work, shall I?
Yeah.
Mike Hawkerts says, "Hey Drinker, what do you think about The Last of Us coming out on HBO in January? Have you seen the trailer? It looks promising as everyone involved seems to have a passion for the project." Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I mean, I feel like I've been burned so many times with adaptations, modern adaptations of things that I just don't have much faith in it. Not a fan of Pedro Pascal as Joel. I just don't see him as that role, but hey man, look, if it turns out to be amazing, great. I'll sing its praises quite happily. It would be pretty cool to see a great adaptation of Last of Us. You know?
Yeah.
Dan Crace says, "What do you guys think of Deadwood? If you saw it, do you think the movie gave the show the proper closure that it deserved?" So I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. I just watched the occasional episode, but I like the TV show.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the TV show, but I never saw the movie, so can't say.
Richard Boldbrooker says, "Hey you," that's a super sticker, so thank you. And Ghost in the Crate gave me a beer super sticker, so that's always appreciated. Thank you. Cell Shade says, "Hello, Drinker and Mauler. Mauler, you did an EFAP mini on the Resident Evil movies. Are you going to do an EFAP mini on the Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City and the CGI movies?"
Possible. Not sure what plans are going forward for like Resident Evil related things on EFAP.
Okay.
Possible.
There's always time for more Resident Evil, surely.
Yeah.
George says, "Hail Drinker, when writing dialogue, do your characters ever say things that take you by surprise?" Not really, because I'm writing them, so it's okay. No, I think the bigger thing is, sometimes you're writing a scene and you're really struggling to make progress with it, and you can't quite pin down what the problem is, and usually it's because you're trying to make a character act out of character just because the plot needs it to happen. And it's like your subconscious mind telling you, no, this doesn't work, this person wouldn't do this, and so that's when you have to go back to the drawing board a little bit and rework it slightly. And 9 times out of 10 that fixes it, you know. But yeah, because I plot my books out to some extent, like I don't often go off in some crazy direction because I'm just doing whatever I thought the characters would do in a situation. It's, I've already planned that out so that they act according to, one, what's consistent for them, and two, what I need the plot to do to progress the book. And Provocateur Extraordinaire says, "Forgot to ask, so here's more monies. The shootist review when? Oh, fuck, sorry. I thought you purposely had a bird chin. I rather like it. Feel like a dick now." What is this Beard Eagle shit?
I do not know.
It must be something I've missed out on in life, but yeah, The Shootist, I would like to review that because it was John Wayne's final movie and it's pretty damn good. One man says maybe Pornhub owns Netflix. I mean, that's possible, yeah. Jarameo says, "Drinker, how do you write a love scene without sounding like a perv or worse, boring?" Well, I have to rub one out first of all before I do it to get it out of my system, and then off I go.
And you can be
But
objective.
yeah. I think honestly, and I've said this before, like writing a sex scene in a book, it's like the sex itself is less important than what leads up to it and what results from it. So I tend to just fade to black at a certain point because it's just becomes kind of cringy trying to write about that stuff. And yeah, like most of the time, if you're writing like espionage thrillers or action scenes or whatever, it's kind of hard to work in like a long, tender love scene. It just generally doesn't work like that. So it's more important, like the characters and the relationships that lead into it, I suppose. Alex K says, "That synthetic man was a doozy, wasn't he, Mooper?"
Yes, we all died after the stream, but we're back.
Yeah, you resurrected yourself through sheer rage.
Yep.
And the next one is, "Hey Drinker and Mauler, how does No Way Home hold up 1 year on?"
I still think they handled their legacy characters brilliantly, and it was such an obvious choice as well for them to just be able to make money. Like I pretty much agree with Gary this whole time about that. Like, and it's one of those choices, right? That seems almost brain dead. It's like you have the rights, use them, like do things. At the same time, I would say, compared to when I first saw it to now, I think it's a little more flawed than I realized. Certainly in plot, and man, is it sad to just think about how Doctor Strange has been pulled to pieces across all these movies and used for his he's Magic Man, therefore he makes plot happen.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
No, that's fair, I would say. And one here from Yum Yum Eat 'em Up. Great bleeding Christ Mauler. What was yesterday's EFAP? It went from zero to Kanye West real fast there in the last hour.
I was about to say, what do you mean real fast? It's like 11 and a half hours.
Yeah.
But I understand what you mean, yeah. It was, dude, when we had like 10 minutes left, I was like, guys, you still haven't seen the worst of it. And all of chat were like, what do you mean? Like, what could you possibly mean? But Theo knew what was coming.
It sounded grim. I think I'll just skip ahead to the final hour or so and just watch that.
Oh,
I think that's
God.
when it gets really mental.
Might need alcohol.
Yeah. But that's the end of our super chats. Anyway, we got to the last one. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for
Brilliant.
joining us for this little jaunt. It's been good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I'm going to be streaming just now after this with Mr. Brown Alliance. So whatever we've got going on over there, like I'm not sure what the subject is today, but I said I would join them for a little bit because he's one of my mods and he does a fantastic job. So I'll do a little bit of streaming with him just after this. So for now at least, I guess for this stream, we're all done. So that's all we got for today. So go away now.
Bye.